Thank you. On the 17th floor, the diameter of the building totally is just under 57 meters. And that compares to 49 meters at the base.
We looked at conventional structures, or applying conventional structures to the logic of the building, and it wasn't really working very well for us. So we thought, well, hang on, instead of fighting the logic of the building, why not go with the flow? Ultimately, you take the dynamic of the atria, the spiraling atria, and you let the structure do exactly the same. So the diagonal structure actually follows the flow of the atria. And then you start to realize, well, hang on a minute, a diagonal structure flowing in both directions triangulates. And what's interesting about a triangulated structure is it's incredibly strong. A conventional column and a floor plate is very wobbly, it's a very weak connection. And you have to put a lot of strength into that knuckle to make something stand up. But as soon as you triangulate, it's self-stabilizing, so that all of the structural elements become much lighter, much thinner. So you can start to peel out tonnage. So there's an economy in that. It's a very rigid frame for the building.
Everything is done so precisely, so make sure that those little clips are exactly in the right place so that when they bring the piece, they just go whoosh, and it should fit. Sorry?
Who are these people?
Schmidlin?
Yeah.
It's a Swiss company. They're based just outside of Basel.
We are in front of the facade test equipment, which is mainly making sure that the bending is okay, which proves that the structural calculations are done properly. But we are also testing here leakage for water and vapor.
A lot of people still say, you know, is it ever going to get built? It's quite remarkable, and I say it's, you know, it's nearly at the top, and they say, come on.
I run into that all the time. I have people who say to me, so when are you going to start construction on it? I just want to take them by the hand and say, come with me, but actually you can see it from Lambeth Bridge now.
Yes, yeah.
And all kinds of unexpected places.
It's big, glassy, and going up like the clappers. The building dubbed the Gherkin, locked into position, flanked by two of the biggest cranes in the country.
Floor number 32, and it's incredibly windy. Now from here, the Lloyd's building looks absolutely tiny, and down there on the ground, the workforce scurrying around like ants. 8 floors below, the glass has been bolted onto the steel structure.
A topping out ceremony will be held today at the Gherkin, London's newest landmark. The event marks...
It's a very special day for us on site. We have the last major steel member that will be lifted up onto level 40, so we're all excited.
3, 2, 1.
I think it's quite a good building, to be honest with you. It's modern, but it fits in with the city.
I haven't quite made up my mind.
What, the Gherkin? Yeah? Oh, I think it's lovely.
London, there's a Gherkin.
Cannot wait. 600 feet. There's a lot of Gherkin.
Book that table.
We'll be there.
So we're really going through a process today of looking at some of the mock-ups. This is a ceiling mock-up at the edge of the balcony, and today we're just looking at the different lighting options. You can see they're just now fitting a new coloured lamp, so we're even looking at the detail of the different colour types of the lamps.
You know, Mike, it doesn't look like we've got the same light bulbs in the two fittings. One of them is very pinky and the other is much yellowier.
That's right. Well, we've just got them swapped over.
Everything at the moment is on the critical path, because what we have to do is we have to get the space not only looking beautiful, but it has to work.
Actually, it's not so bad if you think...
Excuse me, I have to yell at somebody. Gary.
I don't think it's a problem, actually. You see how the light fades out?
Okay, just so you understand, no surprises. Okay, let me know.
There must be a lot of stress involved.
Yeah, I think it has its stressful moments. Yeah, Sarah particularly. Sarah Fox is very demanding, so yeah, making sure she's always happy is quite stressful.
Because that was one of the concerns I had about whether they've actually produced it and we're going to be ready in time. There's a lot of work to do between now and second week of December, and that's shell and core work, so all the walls, ceilings and floors. I think that'll be done. Skanska will make every effort to do that. What may not be done in time is getting the turnstiles, the furniture, because we don't have much time to install that. So that I can see that being a problem at the very first date for Swiss reoccupation.
Was not a very nice surprise to discover that in the installation process they had over-tightened a bolt, and they created a stress fracture. Somebody did push the alarm button outside my office. Everybody dove under their desk to see till they could see whether the coast was clear or not. bit tense. That probably is an understatement. I'm concerned about the state of the site. I think actually the front entrance, although it looks like a complete construction site, I think that's doable. But some of the space that is going to be occupied on the 12th and 14th floor is in nowhere near a state of readiness. Just because I see hundreds of men scurrying around like headless chickens doesn't mean that I have any degree of confidence. Shit. This is as close to D-Day as I've ever been on a project with as much work still to go. Oh, that pisses me off. It's crooked. I'm trying to look as much like a swan as possible, which is to say very calm and just sort of gliding gracefully across the surface of the water, but paddling like crazy underneath. And my thanks to everybody in this room who is also doing the paddling. I can't even begin to name all of the people who've been making sure that this happens. And it's a credit to you that we're going to walk in on Monday morning and just be amazingly proud. Sorry. Amazingly proud of what we've done. Cheers. It looks like, against all odds, the miracles that needed to happen happened. I got here about 7:15 and had a bit of a tearful moment when I saw the lobby. And walked around the 12th and the 14th floors, and unfortunately my eye is drawn to all the things that aren't the way I would like them to be. But again, amazing that they got as far as they did. Absolutely amazing.
Striking addition to the London skyline since Canary Wharf has been officially opened. The Swiss Re Tower, designed by Lord Foster, and it's already known to Londoners as the Gherkin.
In terms of the colour, and if you look at the model...
I don't know if you saw this.
We should rename this building the Gherkin.
I know.
Let's get rid of 30 St Mary Ann.
let's just give up. Go with the flow.
Also what a great building then reorientates your view of a place or a thing, like even the Millennium Wheel reorientated your view of Westminster.
Totally infects your whole consciousness as well, and that's one of the great things when you see a droplet of possibility like this is.
A lot of people are now saying this is a special building. A lot of people are saying it's a landmark building or it's a work of art. And our people are saying, yeah, I go there every day. That's where I work. And I think that feeling is a little bit special.
We are all together under one roof for the first time in London, so there is a feeling once you're here that everybody is here, and it's much easier to get around, much easier to see people, much easier to deal with people face to face rather than over the telephone or via email.
It doesn't feel like we're in a tower block. My first impression when I came here was very much that it's a large, open plan, very, very well lit office.
All of a sudden, it's a company name that people have heard of, and that has more to do probably with this building than anything else.
I think the way in which Swiss Re has influenced this development, this process, has been that it has encouraged the public to look at tall buildings in a new light. They look at the Swiss Re building and see a building of great individuality and personality that couldn't be further from the slab blocks of the 1960s and 70s, which people find so boring and so oppressive and so much the same. I think Swiss Re paved the way.
Joel, table 1, yeah?
The Gherkin, I'm trying to recall something happened along the history of the Gherkin, because I remember being very irritated by it, because it was a kind of barbed criticism. Somebody really felt that they were being very smart as a kind of attack. And I think that for all of us, it's been a very mellowing experience, because as we've pushed ahead and realized collectively the building, that which started as a term of abuse has ended up being a term of endearment, of affection. So I think that's a very nice kind of evolution over the history of the project. And certainly, I guess, I've mellowed along with that, like everybody else.
That's it.